Now, the government's efforts to continue their war on piracy is obviously far from over. But there was a noble victory against it today. Senate Majority Leader Harry Reid has changed his mind on voting on the Protect IP Act after 112 congressmen spoke out against the bill in a very successful online protest and mobilization earlier this week. In a tweet earlier today, Reid said, "In light of recent events, I've decided to postpone Tuesday's vote on the Protect IP Act. They are both listed now as delayed, meaning that they could be brought back or left to die. But for now, there are no plans in either the House or the Senate to vote or further debate on either bill." So that's basically a tally in the win column. After all, Harry Reid was just on Meet the Press last Sunday extolling the virtues of PIPA as a job-creating bill. And he's not the only one that's licking his wounds. See, Senator Chuck Schumer, PIPA sponsor, also took to Twitter to tell opponents that Congress is, in fact, paying attention to its constituents. He tweeted, "You've been heard. PIPA has been pulled so we can find a better solution." And we should note that PIPA's sister bill, SOPA, has also been tabled by Congressman Lamar Smith. Now, all I can say is, holy cow, Congress has actually listened to its constituents for once. After months of growing public outcry, opposition from almost every tech company, an embarrassing House Judiciary Committee hearing, and the White House coming out against it, Harry Reid was still dead set on voting on this bill. So this is just proof that the protests by thousands of websites on January 18th successfully made their point. The Protect IP and SOPA are not the answers to concerns about music and movie piracy. But it's not just Reid that surprised us. In fact, last night in the debate, all four of the Republican presidential candidates also expressed opposition to the bills.
Well, I favor freedom. And I think that if I think that we have a patent office, we have copyright law. If a company finds that it has genuinely been infringed upon, it has the right to sue but the idea that we're going to preemptively have the government start censoring the internet on behalf of giant corporations' economic interest strikes me as exactly the wrong thing to do.
The truth of the matter is that the law as written is far too intrusive, far too expansive, far too threatening to freedom of speech and movement of information across the internet. It would have a potentially depressing impact on one of the fastest growing industries in America.
I was the first Republican to sign on with a host of Democrats to oppose this law.
I mean, I'm for free, but I'm not for people abusing the law, and that's what's happening right now, and I think something proper should be done. I agree this goes too far.
So it seems that everyone is finally in agreement that the way that SOPA and PIPA are written won't fix anything. It would just place unwarranted restrictions on the internet as we know it. But today, Salon's Glenn Greenwald brought up a good point. He took to Twitter to ask, is the lesson of SOPA's defeat A, that citizens can defeat an industry-backed bill, or B, it takes another big industry, aka Silicon Valley, to do that? And you know, he's right. Not only did the people stand up against the legislation, but several companies within Silicon Valley, most notably the ones who blacked out their websites, stood up against it too. So perhaps that was the last piece falling into place, forcing Congress to change their stance on copyright protection. After all, Silicon Valley is one of the biggest industries driving our country today. But this one defeat isn't going to stop the MPAA and the RIAA's fight against protecting Hollywood's precious content. As Mike Masnick of Tech Dirt points out, this is just winning the first battle in what's going to be a very lengthy worldwide war. And like we just explained in our last interview, government has decided to take on anybody who might be linked to pirated material without Congress. And Hollywood lobbyists like Chris Dodd are still working to persuade Congress to create a bill that would go after piracy and counterfeit materials, or to revive SOPA and PIPA if they actually can. Well, let's just hope that future proposals won't be as extreme as the ones that the American people managed to kill this time.